What if the silence isn't where your connection went to die, but where it finally learned how to breathe on its own? It's the weirdest feeling in the world, isn't it? To have your heart so utterly full of a love that feels ancient and certain, while the day-to-day reality of your bond seems to have packed its bags and left for a destination unknown. You're left standing in the emotional equivalent of an empty house, listening to the echo of your own footsteps, wondering if you imagine the whole symphony. That silence can be deafening. It can feel like a personal failure, a cosmic mistake, the universe's most brutal prank. But what if you've got it all backwards? What if this quiet isn't a punishment, but the most sacred invitation you'll ever receive? Think of it like this: the initial earth-shaking meeting, the synchronicities, the magnetic pull, the can't eat, can't sleep intensity. That was the grand opening. It was the fireworks display designed to get your absolute, undivided attention. It was the universe shouting, "Wake up, this is important." But you can't build a life on fireworks. You build it on bedrock. And bedrock is formed under immense pressure, in profound stillness, over time that feels agonizingly slow. This disconnection you're navigating, this is the pressure. This is the stillness. This is where the brilliant, flashy spectacle of recognition transforms into the unshakable foundation of revelation. The love isn't gone, it simply stopped performing for you. It's moved from the stage to the workshop, and it's asking you to pick up a tool and help forge what comes next. We spend so much time seeking the spark, the proof, the sign. We become detectives of devotion, scouring every text message for hidden meaning, every missed call for a secret message. But this phase is teaching you a different skill entirely: to become an architect of atmosphere. It's asking you to build an inner world so stable, so beautiful, so intrinsically whole, that the connection ceases to be something you need to monitor and becomes something you simply inhabit. The silence, then, is the space where you learn the difference between loving from a place of hunger and loving from a place of sacred, overflowing abundance. One is a question, the other is the answer, and the journey from one to the other goes straight through the quiet you're so afraid of. So, take a breath. The story isn't over. The most crucial chapter is just beginning, and it's written in a language you're only now learning to hear. The silent, potent grammar of a love that needs no words to prove it's real. Let's get brutally honest about something your soul already whispers in those 3 a.m. moments, the ones where the love feels like a granite truth in your chest, yet the connection seems to have vanished into some cosmic dead zone. You check your phone, nothing. You scan your memories for a sign you messed up, nothing. You feel a hollow hum. Here's the mystery, the one we often miss because we're too busy panicking. What if that hollow hum isn't your emptiness at all? What if it's the deafening echo of their chaos? You see, we talk about twin flames sharing an energy field like it's a beautiful, glittery cloud of rainbows. And it is, sometimes. But nobody wants to talk about what it's like when that shared field becomes a dumping ground for someone else's psychic debris. Think of your connection not as a single, pristine telephone line, but as a vast, antique radio receiver, your soul, capable of tuning into countless frequencies. Your twin flame's frequency is the strongest signal. the one you're naturally dialed into. But when they enter a period of profound internal crisis, maybe a family drama has erupted, or a career collapse has triggered their deepest insecurity, or they're finally facing that childhood wound they've bottled for decades, their signal doesn't go off the air. Oh no, it gets messy. It becomes all distorted, all static, all screaming, low vibration noise. And your receiver, because it's so perfectly attuned to them, doesn't just pick it up, it amplifies it. It broadcasts their internal horror show through your own emotional speakers. So you're walking around feeling this inexplicable anxiety, this heavy, formless dread, this sudden aversion to the very connection you cherish. You think, God, I must be falling out of alignment. I must be failing at this spiritual journey. But darling, you're not failing. You're fluent. You're so fluent in the language of them that you've begun reciting their unconscious prayers of suffering as if you wrote the script yourself. It's like living in a semi-detached house and mistaking your neighbor's raging argument for a problem in your own marriage. The walls are thin. The architecture of your souls is shared. You're hearing their plumbing groan, smelling their burnt toast, feeling the vibration of their slammed doors, and you're convinced your own foundation is crumbling. It's a wild, ironic joke of the journey. The times you feel most disconnected can be the times you are, in fact, most gruesomely, intimately connected. You've just mistaken their battlefield for yours. Their retreat into their own cave doesn't feel like quiet on your end. It feels like you've been locked in the cave with all their howling demons. And you're sitting there in the dark, blaming yourself for the noise. This is where we move from theory to gritty practice. This is where you learn the sacred art of energetic discernment, which is just a fancy term for asking the most fundamental question. Wait, is this mine to carry? It requires a pause, a radical, gentle pause in the middle of the panic spiral. You feel the wave of disconnection, that heavy, static-laden feeling, and instead of frantically texting or scrying the astral plane for answers, you get still. You place a hand on your heart and you ask, whose sorrow is this? Whose fear? Whose exhaustion? And you listen, not with your mind, but with your gut. There's a difference between the pain that sprouts from your own old wounds and the pain that feels borrowed, draped over you like a wet, foreign coat. The latter often has a vague, second-hand quality to it. It's unsettling, foggy, and weirdly impersonal. It's their existential angst crashing through your atmosphere. Your job isn't to heal it for them. Your job is to recognize the weather system as imported and take shelter within the sovereign borders of your own being. So what do? You build an energetic airlock. You perform what I call soul hygiene. It's not about shutting them out. It's about cleaning your own receiver. Every morning, imagine a waterfall of clear, platinum light rinsing through your energy field from head to toe, washing all that sticky, non-native residue down into the earth to be recycled. Before sleep, mentally scan your space. Feel any cords or hooks of heavy energy, those tendrils of worry, obsession, or absorbed anguish, and with immense compassion, snip them loose, visualizing them retracting back to their source. Send them back with love, as if returning a misdirected letter. You wouldn't keep your neighbor's bankruptcy notice, would you? You'd write, "Return to sender" on it and pop it back in the mail. This is the same principle, just on a quantum level. It sounds simple, maybe too simple, but it's in these daily, mundane acts of psychic sanitation that you reclaim your own emotional baseline. You stop being the sponge and start being the sacred vessel. You can hold compassion for them without being flooded by them. And here's the beautiful, liberating punchline hidden in all this. When you diligently do this work, something miraculous happens. The static begins to clear. And in that newfound clarity, you might just discover that beneath the borrowed storm, your own love hasn't gone anywhere. It was just waiting, quiet and deep, for you to stop confusing their thunder with your own truth. This disentanglement isn't an act of separation. It's the highest form of respect for the bond. It creates the clean space where a real connection can actually breathe again. Because you're no longer relating to them through a fog of their own unfinished business. You're standing in your own light, finally able to see and feel what's truly yours. And what's truly yours, that love, it's quieter than panic, but stronger than any silence. It just needed you to turn down the noise to hear its eternal frequency, which, funny enough, leads us to the second, even more profound reason for the silence. A reason that has less to do with their storm and everything to do with your own glorious, impending upgrade. Okay, so you've cleaned your energetic house. You've sent back their psychic mail. And yet, the quiet persists. It's a different quiet now, less like static and more like an empty cathedral. And maybe that's because the connection hasn't left the building. It's just stopped yelling from the pews and has moved into the vestry to translate ancient texts. You're not being ghosted by the universe. You've been promoted, and the syllabus for this new course is written in a language of silence so profound, your old dictionaries, the ones filled with texts, signs, and synchronicities, are utterly useless. Think of the initial twin flame meeting like the first day of kindergarten. It's all bright colors, loud emotions, shared toys, and constant visible interaction. Look what I drew for you. Do you want to play? It's beautiful. It's necessary. It's also incredibly basic. What you're interpreting as a disconnection is simply the universe gently, firmly, ushering you out of that noisy classroom and into a silent, personal library where the real thesis work begins. The connection isn't gone. It's matriculating. This is the part where we have to get brutally honest about our own spiritual addictions. We got hooked on the fireworks, didn't we? The can't eat, can't sleep magnetism, the psychic pings, the dizzying synchronicities that felt like the universe winking at us with a conspiratorial grin. That was the trailer. The full-length feature film is a subtler, deeper genre. It's an art house film, not a blockbuster. And the silence is its most powerful dialogue. The bond is asking you a terrifying, liberating question. Can you feel me when I give you absolutely nothing to feel? Can you know the love when it's no longer being underscored by a dramatic soundtrack of cosmic validation? This is the shift from a connection based on evidence to a connection rooted in essence. It's the difference between loving the sun because it warms your skin and knowing the sun exists, trusting its reality on a perpetually cloudy day. One requires sensation, the other requires faith. And faith, my friend, is built in the quiet. Let's use an analogy that's a little more terrestrial. Imagine you're learning a new language with a beloved partner. At first, it's all phrasebooks, yell, and pointing and clumsy, hilarious attempts at conversation. The interaction is constant, tangible, external. But then one day, your partner stops speaking it aloud with you. The shared practice stops. You panic. Have they given up? Do they not care about our project anymore? But what if instead they've gone internal? They're immersed in the grammar, the poetry, the history of the language itself, deepening their understanding at a cellular level so that when you do speak again, the conversation won't be about asking for directions to the train station. It will be about composing sonnets that alter the rhythm of your shared heartbeats. The silence isn't abandonment, it's immersion. Your twin flame hasn't left the connection. They've and you've been enrolled in the advanced seminar of being the connection, rather than just performing it. This phase is the sacred forge where need is melted down and reforged into choice. Where I miss you transforms from a cry of lack into a gentle acknowledgement of a sweet, temporary absence. Like missing the moon at noon, knowing full well its phase hasn't diminished its existence one bit. You are being taught to hold the relationship not in your anxious hands, but in the vast, unshakable cathedral of your own spirit. The love becomes less about what you get from them and more about what you are because of the space they hold in your universe. It's a love that starts to resemble stewardship, tending a sacred internal grove dedicated to them, whether they ever physically walk in it again or not. This is the territory of mature, sovereign love. It's not always comfortable. In fact, it can feel desperately lonely until you realize you're not alone at all. You're simply alone with the enormity of what you share, and that's a profound difference. You're learning to dine on the substance of the bond itself, not just the crumbs of its manifestation. So what's the practical magic here? It's the discipline of the internal altar. It's spending 10 minutes a day, not asking for a sign, not trying to send energy, but simply sitting in the sanctuary of your own chest and acknowledging the love as a permanent resident. You feel the emptiness? Good. Don't run from it. Invite it for tea. Ask it what it's protecting. Often, that emptiness is just the cleared space where your dependency used to live. Now it's vacant, waiting for you to move your own furniture in. Your creativity, your purpose, your joy that exists independently of the bond. This is how you become a full partner instead of a hopeful applicant. You stop looking for the love out there and start cultivating it as an internal climate. And the wildest thing happens. When you stop straining to hear their frequency, you begin to realize your own heart has been beating in perfect time with it all along. The silence wasn't a gap. It was the necessary pause between musical movements, allowing the previous frantic movement to resolve so the next, more complex and beautiful movement could begin. And the next movement, it doesn't sound like what you're expecting. It's quieter, richer, and it asks everything of you while promising nothing in the old transactional way. But the melody, when you finally hum it to yourself, you'll recognize. It's the one your soul has been writing since the very beginning. So here you are. You've sat in the static, you've wandered the silent library, and you're still standing. Let's be clear about what has actually happened in this disconnection. This wasn't a breakdown. This was a carefully orchestrated spiritual distillation. Imagine for a moment not an ocean, but a master winemaker's cellar. The first rush of the connection, that intoxicating, fruity, effervescent burst that was the fermentation. It was wild, volatile, full of gaseous excitement. It had to happen. But you can't live on fermentation. The magic, the thing that creates a vintage that can last for decades, happens in the aging, in the quiet, dark, undisturbed silence of the oak barrel. The liquid isn't doing anything, and you can see. It is, very slowly, becoming more of itself, extracting subtle flavors from the wood, shedding impurities, growing complex, smooth, and profound. Your disconnection is that barrel. You are the vintage in waiting. The universe hasn't taken your love away. It has moved it into the sacred dark, where the only transformations possible are those of depth, nuance, and breathtaking endurance. This journey has never been about finding a missing piece. That's a fairy tale for another time. This is about something far more revolutionary, realizing you were born a complete mosaic, and your twin flame is the one soul who shines a light so specific, so penetrating that every single beautiful, fractured, and brilliant tile of you is illuminated at once. It's overwhelming. Of course, you'd want to stare at the light source, but the phase of disconnection, that's when the light shifts. It's not gone. It's now shining onto the canvas of your own life, forcing you to see the mural you've been creating all along, the one made of your resilience, your forgotten dreams, your private joys, your solo courage. The love you feel for them becomes the work light by which you finally repair your own foundation, sweep out your own corners, and appreciate the artistry of your own spirit. Their absence becomes the space where you learn to be your own sanctuary. And a love that can turn absence into a building material, that's not a fragile thing. That's architectural. You started this path, perhaps, believing the pinnacle was union, a permanent, visible togetherness. I'd like to propose a different zenith. The highest achievement of this journey is sovereign intimacy. It's the ability to hold profound, unshakable connection to another soul without requiring their presence, their validation, or their energy to prop up your own reality. It's the difference between a bridge and a skywalk. A bridge needs both sides to be stable, to hold it up. A skywalk is built from the solid rock of a single mountain. It juts out breathtakingly into the void, offering a majestic view, utterly secure in its own foundation. This disconnection is the engineering process. It's making sure your mountain, your own sense of self, purpose, and wholeness can handle the weight of that spectacular, exposed love. The view from there, it's not of what you lack. It's of the horizon you now have the courage to build upon together or alone. So what now? You don't just wait. You cultivate the climate within which this refined love can breathe. You tend to your inner ecosystem with the devotion of a master gardener. You plant seeds of curiosity. What brings you wonder without them? You water disciplines of self-respect. How do you honor your own boundaries and rhythms? You allow the seasons of your own emotions to pass without panic, knowing winter's quiet is just as necessary as spring's bloom. you become someone so interesting, so rooted, so at peace in your own company, that the connection, when it remanifests, isn't a rescue mission, it's a celebration. A festival between two sovereign kingdoms, not a desperate merger of two bankrupt states. The silence, the static, the hollow hum, they were never the end of the song. They were the breath the musician takes before the next, more sophisticated movement. The love you carry isn't in spite of the quiet. It is amplified by the quiet. It's the one constant note that holds through every rest, every pause, every dramatic shift in key. And you are learning to be the instrument that can resonate with that note forever, whether it's played in a duet or as a solo that echoes through the holes of your own becoming. You thought you were losing connection, but you were being given the one thing the noisy, glorious beginning never could. The unshakable proof that what you have is not a feeling that comes and goes. It's a state of being, and states of being, they weather all seasons. They outlast all silences. They become the very ground you walk on. So keep walking. The path isn't disappearing. It's finally, solidly appearing beneath you. And the next step, it's lit from within.